This is the YOB ConvoCast, one-on-one conversations with your other brother's authors, community members, supporters, and friends.
What's up, friends, and welcome to the YOB ConvoCast, conversations with the most incredible humans attached to the YOB universe in some way, shape, or form. I'm really excited for today because on the heels of one Daniel, we have another. We called him Dan in the last episode because I didn't want people to get confused by all these double names because there's so many double names in our community. But this is the original Daniel. He's been on the ConvoCast before. He taught me some gay Filipino slang. Last I remember, it's our Filipino a Londoner. I think it's Londoner. Daniel, what's up, Daniel?
Hello. What do I sound?
Hello. Daniel sounds so good, you guys. We were commenting before the recording that he is utilizing
this is
something
so
that I'm quite envious of. Yeah, it's like a microphone attached to an arm with a little pop filter in front of it. I was jealous thinking
it's my housemates.
Yeah, I was thinking it was yours, but it's your housemates. But even still, what an incredible setup you have there, Daniel.
Hello. Hi, friends. So is that my actual, description? Filipino Londonian.
I mean, unless you want another one, what would you like to be called from across the pond over there?
We'll think about it.
Okay. But you are the OG, Daniel. It was, and I didn't want to put it in stone because at the time I was hopeful that you would be on an upcoming ConvoCast. But schedule-wise, I wasn't sure if you were going to be the next episode or maybe 3 or 4 episodes down the road. But I love it. I love that on the heels of one Daniel, we have another.
It's okay that I'm second fiddle.
No, I'm saying you're the first.
I'm happy that I'm next to Nurse Daniel. He's my favorite person to annoy.
Your favorite person to annoy?
I love poking his Enneagram 6ness and just annoy him with random memes and random messages on Instagram. I love him.
Well, Daniel, we gave you a shout out. I don't know if you've listened to that episode, but we gave you a couple shout outs, including a reference to the "Why Are You Gay" video. Which
I love that.
Inevitably, I think of you whenever that video comes up, because I'm pretty sure, I don't even know. I was the one to introduce that to him, other Daniel. But I'm pretty sure
I actually
you were...
sent that to him too. I sent it to everyone. So
well, yeah, you definitely introduced it to me, and so who knows who got to it first with Daniel. But but yeah, that video so iconic. Whenever I think of, because there's certain memes and video clips, Daniel, that make me immediately think of you, and so that's one. Wow. And then the other one is the Jonathan Van Ness from Queer Eye saying, "Can you believe?"
I was sad that didn't win the little thing that we did, but it was old and there was newer things in the culture. So
yeah, what Daniel's referring to is we did a March Madness bracket in our YOBBERS community where we picked up on all these little inside jokes and things that have become lore in our community, and people would just vote on the one they wanted to see advance. And so sadly that did not make the cut, but
yeah, and I haven't been blogging for a while, so hopefully it will come back.
I hope so. And a neat little, I think it's okay to share this with the masses, Daniel, because this was a little inside joke with you and me. Every once in a while we do a little website redesign, or we tweak some things, some colors or some fonts or some organizational blocks or something. And I'm pretty sure it's still active to this day, where if you go on our website and you try to go to a link that doesn't exist, whatever those are called, 404, is that a 404? You're the web guy.
Yeah, 404 page.
A 404 error page. You will find Jonathan Van Ness in a GIF form saying, "Can you believe?" And then we have something on there that says something like, "Can you believe this page doesn't exist?"
And also it said the first person to email you or to message you that finds that page gets a free merch.
Oh, yeah. I totally forgot. And someone found
from our community did find it, right?
Yeah. I think I said that they were going to get the new t-shirt, which still has not been developed. But
Okay.
but that was a good reminder. Thank you for reminding me. Whenever that new t-shirt comes out, I owe somebody in our community a t-shirt because he discovered that 404 page by himself for the first time. And I think that message got taken down so that no one else can win a t-shirt. It was just this one person. So
now we're going to get a lot of errors in our analytics popping up saying, hey, like a lot of people are going to this error page.
Yeah. But yeah, if y'all haven't seen it yet, check it out. We need more inside jokes like that, Daniel, on our website. Maybe next time you and I get together for a website fix, maybe we can sneak in some other inside joke somewhere.
We can sneak in random GIFs for certain words. I
like Easter eggs. Yeah, that's so fun. Well, Daniel, catch us up on what's happening because I need to get this off my chest right away. We had a YOBBERS retreat a couple months ago.
Yeah.
That you were not at. This was the first YOBBERS retreat that you did not attend, and there was a void. Daniel, I'm not exaggerating. There was a void.
Mm-hmm.
There was an international void because this was our first retreat where we had only Americans present. Like, we've been so blessed.
Yeah, you can't say past. International anymore, which is mostly me.
It was a domestic retreat. Ugh, gross, right? It was only Americans.
I appreciate all of the shout outs when you say we've got people from the UK, from Canada, and I was like, oh, that's me. So I appreciate all of those shout outs from all of the podcasts that you've done. I know it's me.
That's you. That's all you. Well, technically we have Canadians too, and they're international, even though they're right across the border. But yeah, no, it was, I kept telling people this was by far my favorite retreat we had, but then there was something weird to say that because that doesn't mean the other two retreats were awful, but it just felt like this retreat, as amazing as it was, could have been so much better. Like having you there, having our Canadians there, having, who knows who else was impacted by COVID who couldn't make it there even within America. So it felt like as good as it was, this could have been better.
I would love to have gotten my back cracked. Are we allowed to say that?
We do have a chiropractor in our community. I think we can just keep it at that. But yeah, we had a little back cracking clinic going at the retreat, which was funny. But how are you doing, Daniel? Because I think one of the cool things about this community, because we are an international community, during the time of COVID, it's like giving us all this like perspective that maybe people, the vast majority of our listening audience is American. So I would love to just hear how things are going, COVID or otherwise, in your neck of the woods over there across the pond.
Yeah, actually, for the past, I think since 2019, actually, COVID hasn't been really bad for me. 2019 was a really bad year for me. And I feel like God has prepared me for all of the things that's going to happen next. And I just feel very pursued by God and really fathered by God, actually. In 2019, the theme of my year was being fathered by God. I got that almost a revelation at David's tent. I blogged about it in one of my blogs in 2019. It was kind of like a worship night, and the revelation was just God is going to father me for and I'm going to experience it in a different way. And so I just felt guided since then. And since then, I've changed churches. I've moved to another church during the pandemic. And so I joined it on Zoom and everything. And it was such an interesting experience. And now that the lockdowns are over and we're all free to go out and to meet in churches, it's super fun meeting people, and that's primarily the reason why I'm not blogging as much anymore, because I wanted to meet as many people as I can. And I blogged about it before as well. When I was new to my previous church, I joined multiple groups. I had a small group literally every night, and now I have 3. Don't tell them. But actually,
wait, are you cheating on your small group?
Some people know, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're a small group slut." But yeah, the thing is, next week we're going to have this pub quiz night for our church, and my 3 small groups are all going. And I don't know which team I'm going to be in. But yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. They're all nice.
This is like a sitcom where you show up dressed in one way to one team and you make sure they sit on like opposite sides of the room, and then you like go to the bathroom, quote unquote, and then you change clothes and you go to the other side of the room and join their team, and then you go back and forth. That would be so comedic.
I mean, what I was thinking was like you go to one place and the 3 people you're dating are there.
Right. It's a sitcom trope of like trying to do 2 dates at once. But I guess everything comes to a head at this pub. You said pub quiz?
Yeah. That's cute. You do that there? Pub quizzes?
We have trivia night. I think that's probably what you're talking about.
I mean,
pub quiz sounds so much
Pubs
better.
aren't really a thing there, right? It's like more of a bars and...
Yeah, they're bars. I mean, we have pubs, but they're bars.
Yeah.
They're not like pubs like you guys have.
And alcohol is also a no-no in Christianity there, isn't it?
It depends where you go. It really does. There's our great land is so diverse. So if you're going to Portland or Seattle, no, like totally fine. Maybe if you're in certain parts of the South or
how about
Midwest,
where are you?
Maybe that's
where
more frowned upon. Oh, where I am, it's totally good because Asheville is known as Beer City. That's one of our nicknames. And so there's all kinds of breweries and bars here. And so that intersects with Christianity quite nicely. Like my church actually this past summer had family get together nights every Wednesday night at a brewery. There's like a big like green space with picnic tables and food trucks, and then it's a place for the kids to run around and have fun, but then the adults could have drinks as well. So
that's fun. Yeah, so in the Philippines, alcohol is also a big no-no.
Is it? Okay.
So I think there was one conference where there were internationals, and people saw international pastors like drinking in a restaurant alcohol, and then they were like, oh my gosh, what's happening here? So yeah, interesting cultures.
Yeah, backslide. Well, I'm so glad for you, Daniel, that you're able to make the rounds, meet some people, cheat on small groups. Like, how fun. What a fun life after COVID, or like sort of after COVID, whatever state we're in right now.
And actually, one thing that I got really into, and I discovered, oh my gosh, are spiritual disciplines and spiritual practices, plus coping mechanisms, healthy coping mechanisms. So like the daily office. Have you heard of the daily office?
Daily office. Is that what we did at the digital retreat a couple years ago?
Yeah, that's what we did.
Like praying at certain times of the day for certain things.
Yeah, so I think
reading certain scriptures.
I mean, mine is pretty modified, but it's basically just stopping for 2 or 3 times a day and then just meditating. But also my thing is most important thing is listening to God as well. So like before, my prayers would just be like talking to God, like whatever. But actually listening to God is an important thing. And so I do that every morning and every evening. There's this app called the Pause app by a very controversial figure in our community. What's his name? The guy who wrote Wild at Heart?
Oh, John Eldredge. Yeah. You're going there.
Yeah. It's actually a really good app.
Invoking the name of John Eldredge.
Yeah, it's I found it. I discovered it from one of my favorite podcasters, Laurie Krieg. I love her, and she's also very into those things. So I'm doing that every night, and then in the morning, there's also this other app I discovered from Laurie Krieg called Pray As You Go. And it's basically someone reading you a passage, and then there's like a reflection period to hear from God as well. So I just love those things. And that's one thing that I love in my new church. They're very into those spiritual disciplines as well. Very John Mark Comer, the ruthless elimination of hurry.
Yeah, absolutely. Does I love that stuff too. Does praying come naturally to you, like for for some people, I mean, for me, I'm like constantly talking to myself, and I think also talking to the Lord. And I feel like prayer kind of follows me throughout the day. It's not to pump myself up, because something that doesn't come naturally to me is scripture. Scripture, I have to like really force myself to sit down with and read. So I'm curious about you.
Yeah, that's a new realization to me, actually. Like the Holy Spirit-y side of things, because I grew up in a culture that's not really into those like Holy Spirit-y side of things. So basically, in my head, I don't talk to myself, but I talk to a second person in my head. I've always done that when I was young. It's not to myself, but it's to another person. And lately I've realized, oh my gosh, that's God. And he actually replies to me. And yeah, it was such a revelation to me, because I thought it was always just my imagination or whatever. But yeah, like I had this revelation that actually that's God. And sometimes I think I talked about this in one of our Zooms. We were talking about hearing from God. And yeah, lately I've been these spiritual gifts, like the prophetic. It's just really been helpful to me as well. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can hear God. All this time I thought it was my imagination. Like if there's a problem in the YOB site, sometimes I would just like think about it and I couldn't find the solution, and I would walk, and then suddenly a thought comes to mind, oh, this is how I can fix it. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's God. So
these thoughts that come to mind, you've kind of connected some dots recently that they're coming from the Lord, and they can speak into your life. That's incredible. Yeah, that's awesome. I love hearing how God speaks to certain people. For me, but I think what I've noticed over the years is that when I escape, when I get away from whatever my normal routine is, so when I go on a road trip, or when I go into the mountains, when I don't know, just when I'm not just usually doing the normal of home life and coffee shops and whatever my normal routine is, like whenever I break away, I think there's an opportunity there to, when I change my physical scenery, that I don't know, I kind of similarly kind of hear those thoughts, feel those compunctions, and just have a new perspective that I didn't have otherwise. And so that's why I love to travel. There's a lot of reasons, but that's a huge one for me.
Yeah, and that's actually what the spiritual practices are for, like the daily office, and really forcing yourself to take a pause and hear from God so that it can be in your normal life. And that's been really helpful to me during the lockdowns. And now that everything like London is back, I have something to do every night. Like this week, every night I had something to, actually every day, every weekend. And that's just really helpful to me to be connected to God from the morning even to the evening, even if London is very busy.
Yeah. Well, I'm both happy and sad, Daniel, that you're so busy relationally, because we don't see you on Zoom as much. It was funny this week, you popped on our Zoom call for like 5 seconds, and it was so delightful because for the 5 seconds that you were there, we spanned so many countries and continents, because we had people from Canada, America. We had one of our guys was on a random trip to Central America, and so he checked in on a call from Central America. We had someone else from South America there, and then you checked in from the UK. So truly, we were joking about it being international, but that just makes my heart soar when I see so many countries represented on our Zoom calls. I know it's tricky for you, like 6 hours in the future.
I mean, it's like 1 a.m.
It's late, I know. But it's always a joy when we can see you. Maybe we've talked about this, just kind of on a casual basis, Daniel, but what if one day YOB has like European-centric Zoom calls and East Coast America-centric Zoom calls, or West Coast America.
So if you're listening and you want that, go comment on this podcast, go email Tom or email me. We're gonna do it.
Yeah. Well, I think we definitely have people over there in your neck of the woods. So it's just a matter of, do they want to come on to Zoom calls? And if they do, then I think that would be so fun to have happen.
Yes, let's do it, guys. Let's do it. So that
Yeah,
it's in a godly hour in our time zone.
Right. Because it's not fair to have our UK friends have to sign on to Zoom at 2 a.m. to have a Zoom call. Like that's
Yeah,
sad.
back in the pandemic when did we used to do it every week or every week, right?
Every week early on in the pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, that was okay to me that I could stay up that late because I'm just at home. But now, I can't.
You're back to being a big boy and working again, right? Working regularly. Yeah. Well, I joked in our closing minutes, Daniel, I wanted it to come clean. I didn't want to like have any tension, any friction, any conflict between us because
what is this?
I commented on our Discord several weeks ago after we got a new yobber from Liverpool, which is in your neck of the woods. And I made a joke. It was sort of jokey, sort of serious, to the effect of, all we have to do is get 2 more UK yobbers and I will be booking a trip next year to the UK to visit all you guys. And then you commented something like, guess I'm not enough or something.
Am I not enough?
Which, Daniel, you absolutely are. I would go to the UK just to visit you for a week. I think that would be fantastic. But all that to say, the incentive is increased. It only increases the more UK yobbers we get, or European yobbers for that matter. When we have people who support us.
If we also have Zooms in our time zone, maybe more European people will come.
I know. Maybe it's like, which came first, the chicken or the egg? The UK yobbers or the UK Zooms? Like maybe we got to just put that on the calendar and make it happen. I think
come
that
over.
Could be a thing. Yeah, so
and
we'll
you're
see.
Like
but
triple vaccinated. You're just
I am triple vaxxed.
You have all of the nanobots in your system.
I'm ready. I'm cleared. I'm cleared for takeoff. I will say, I'm not making any promises, Daniel, but I will say it is on my mind, and I think Holy Spirit is doing something, because the more European supporters we get, the more my heart soars, and the more as it goes back to the Lord speaking to me, I just feel like God has something for me. If I were to take a week or 2 or 3 or 4, I don't know what the length could be, but to spend some time overseas again and to connect with all you beautiful people, I think would pay dividends, both in my life and hopefully in other people's lives too.
UK
to do some
recordings.
To do some recordings overseas, I think would be fun. So I don't know.
And you've lived here too, right?
I summered. I always tell people I summered at Oxford University.
Yeah.
It was
one
so
of those
great.
smarty pants at Oxford.
I wasn't a 4.0 GPA, but I think I got an A and then an A-, which the school I went to, that's not a 4.0. So it was like a 3.9 or something, but nonetheless,
my GPA
pretty
is
good.
like 2.
Wow. Well, that's twice as good as a 0. Is that math right? Probably not. But
so if any Europeans listening to this, all of the lurkers, I call upon you to come forth and tell Tom to come over here.
Yeah, you have 2 missions. One is to tell us that you want and will show up for a normal time for your neck of the woods, for your time zone over there for Zoom calls. And then 2, you want me to come visit. You have a bed for me. You have, a place for me to stay, a place for me to rest my little head. That would be another incentive. So let me know. Let Daniel know. Let me know. It would be fantastic to make it over there. Daniel, it's always so lovely to have you back. I hope we can have you back more often from your housemate's fancy microphone setup. That's incredible.
I don't know if I'm going to listen to this back and the quality is so good. I think I'm going to have to buy myself. She uses this for Zooms.
Wow. She's fancy stuff. Daniel, if I visit you, you have to promise me, if we're not using your housemate's microphone, if you haven't already gotten one yourself, like that is a must for when I visit, that we use.
Yes, there is a spare room for you.
There's a spare room for this sparrow. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that. If you guys, European or otherwise, want to support what we're doing with Your Other Brothers, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/YourOtherBros. We would love to see more European correspondence. And we are becoming so international, you guys, because on Discord, I need to start advertising this, but we have a Spanish speaking only channel on our Discord now. And I don't know what's going on because I can't speak it. I mean, I can pick out words and phrases.
Can I be a lurker there?
If you want, sure. I trust you. But yeah, there's like 5 or 6 people in there. And I just, every once in a while, I'll click over there and I see that all the Spanish is happening. And I was like, how cool is that? So if you're a native Spanish speaker, I need to start telling the community this more, but we have a place for you. If English doesn't come easily, or if it makes you anxious or you're not the best at English, we have a Spanish channel on our Discord. So there's that. Maybe that'll lend to future
yes,
English beyond English channels. Like that would be so fun. But yeah, we are international with your other brothers as much as we joke about it, as Daniel has fulfilled the international flavor at our retreats. Daniel, I hope to see you at our next one or at a future one someday. Because is it going to
be a spring one or a fall one?
I think it's going to be fall. So
okay,
I think that's what we're shooting for. I think we're shooting for a fall retreat next year. So stay tuned to everyone. Daniel, thanks for checking in. Always good to see you, my brother.
Good to see you in your shining, shimmering, splendid box in Zoom.
Yes, if this doesn't go on YouTube, I've got a lot of light in my face right now for those that can or can't see me. But I've soldiered through this call, Daniel, because even though it's the worst time of day for me, daylight wise, shining right through my window, I know this is a cordial hour for you. 5 hours in the future. So I'm glad I'm happy to at least coordinate these calls with you if we can't coordinate the Zoom calls. So that's all, you guys. Stay tuned next time for another YOBcast, ConvoCast, amazing production featuring people from our community. So until we cast that next convo, see y'all.
Bye.